Hello, welcome to Help Intuitive English. My name is Henri. Today I would like to talk about vocabulary. There is a lot of vocabulary in English. Many of my students ask me or tell me, I want to learn more vocabulary. I need to learn more vocabulary. Well, English is my second language and French is my first language, my native language. Let's imagine that we take all the words from the French language and we put them in a box, right? An imaginary box. And the box will be about this big, okay? Now, let's imagine we do the same thing with English. And we take all the words from the English language and we put them in a box. Well, in fact, the box with English words would be 3 to 4 times bigger than the words with the French words. Yes, there are 3 to 4 times more words in English than in French. There is so much vocabulary in English. Let's take an example. This object, right? You can call it in English trash can, bin, rubbish, rubbish bin, dump, garbage. There is so many ways to describe this one object. So you don't need to know every single word for one object or one situation. What you need to do is you need to choose. Choose the words because maybe you like it better, because it sounds better, maybe because it's easier for you to pronounce, or maybe because it's easier for you to remember, or just because maybe you just prefer the sound of it, or it reminds you or makes you think of something in particular, so you like that word to describe that one object. So choose the words you like. That's the advantage of English, is that you and I and everyone who speaks and learns English will just never stop. There will always be new words, always new vocabulary to learn. The question is really, how do you learn vocabulary, right? How do you acquire more words in English? In my opinion, there are two methods, two schools of learning vocabulary. The first one is like at school, right? What happens when you learn vocabulary at school? Typically, your teacher will give you a vocabulary list, right? So you have a list of words, right? One column with words in English, and the second column with words in your native tongue. And in the back, more words in English, more words in your native tongue, and then more pages and more pages. And so your teacher comes and say, here you go, here you go, here you go, and you're happy, right? You have all this new vocabulary now. But very quickly, you realize, wait a second, how am I going to put all those words in my head? So what do? You go home, and you start repeating, right? And you repeat words. For example, eat, and you repeat eat. You repeat the same word in your native tongue, right? Eat, and you repeat. Then you go to the next word, I don't know, need, right? And you repeat need, and you repeat the word in your native tongue. Well, research specialists will tell you that if you learn vocabulary like that, you need to repeat 30 times. 30 times. Need, etc., etc. to learn that word. Sometimes maybe a little bit less, sometimes maybe a little bit more. It's an average, right? About 30 times per word that you repeat like that. And then what? You start speaking and you're going to say eat, need, tennis, play, go, telephone, beach. No, we don't speak with words alone the majority of time. The grand majority of time we speak with groups of words together, right? With phrases, with sentences. And that is the second method of learning vocabulary that I really insist you try, is to learn with phrases, with sentences. And what you have to do is you have to put that new word you're learning and put it in a context. So you need to learn with phrases, with sentences. For example, you take that new word you're learning, for example, to eat, and you think of an example. Can you think of an example? I don't know, I eat fruits every day because I love fruits, so I eat fruits every day. Or with need, right? They need to go to New Zealand, right? My friends want to go to New Zealand, and so they are wanting to go there, so actually they need to go there to visit their family. When I do that, when I use my imagination, I put all this together in a context, and in my head, in my brain, it creates like special connections between my neurons that will help me understand the word faster, that will help me remember that word longer. I will know already how to use it in a phrase, so I can already speak it. Therefore, I can use it in another phrase very easily. I can duplicate that phrase into a new situation, a new context. For example, now your new phrase could be, I love to eat chocolate, because I love chocolate, so I love to eat chocolate. Always need. What do you need? Can I help you? Or for example, I need to eat ice cream. I want to eat sugar, right? Because I love sugar. Okay, so to recap, two things with vocabulary, right? One, you need to choose the words you like based on your personal preference. You have lots of options in English to express the same objects most of the time, or the same idea. And two, you need to learn with phrases. Always learn with phrases, with sentences. It's very important. Just use your imagination and think of a context, a situation, and put that in action and express a message with a phrase, okay? Choose, learn with phrases. Thank you for watching my program. See you in the next video. Goodbye.